Hi, and welcome to Stamp with Ginny. Today I'm going to share with you this quick and easy holiday card that has a fun pop of color on the inside panel. I've created this with the Festive Friends Stamp set that you can find in the online exclusives. So let me set this aside and I'll show you how I got started. I'm going to start with the stamping for this project, so I'm going to bring in my basic white cardstock, my little snowman here, ink it up with my memento, and stamp. And then I'm going to bring in this little strip of basic white, ink it up, and stamp my sentiment close to the right hand side. Now that's a little high, so I can simply move this to the other side since I have ink on my hands, and stamp again simply by lowering it a little bit. There we go. I'm happy with that, and I can move on to the next image. So I'm going to bring in my balmy blue and the snowflake image, ink it up in my balmy blue, and randomly stamp onto my cardstock strip here. I'm turning the image so that I have a random look. Onto my cardstock. I've got that done, and I'm ready to bring in my basic white panel, and I'm going to ink up my tree in the lemon lime twist. I'm going to bring this in and stamp right in the center, and then I'm going to stamp on either side of it, alternating the height of my trees until I fill the panel. I've got that finished, and I'm going to bring in my last panel, which is the inside panel, ink up my little tree, and stamp it there on the left, just for a little pop of color. And of course you can stamp your sentiment at this time if you'd like. I've got that finished, and I'm going to color my snowman. So I'm going to bring in my stamping blends. I'm going to start with my snowman's nose, the little carrot here, using my pumpkin pie. And I'm going to bring in my pool party and just do a swish underneath the snowman to ground him. And then I'm going to bring in my balmy blue. Let's see, I'm going to start with the light, and I'm going to fill in my little stripes. One, alternating those stripes. Just quickly. And then I'm going to do the rim of his cap. Let's see, I think I'm going to switch to the dark balmy blue. There we go. And then I'm going to bring in the light base of real red, and I'm going to color the alternate stripes. And then I'm going to move on to his scarf. Now I'm going to bring my light red onto the knot and one side of the scarf, and then I'm going to bring in my dark real red, and I'm going to add a little detail on that scarf and then do the side panels like so. I've got that image done. I'm ready to die cut it, and we're ready to move on to assembly. So I'm going to start by folding my real red cardstock base on the score line and adhering the bottom panel to the card front. I'm going to add the trees first, and of course you can use your grid paper to line this up if you would like, but this is a fairly forgiving layout since we're going to add a pop of color down the center where the panels meet. I'm going to put my balmy blue snowflakes on the top of that, and then I'm going to bring in this strip of real red and adhere that down. I've got my real red panels down to separate those two, and I'm going to bring in my sentiment. Now I'm going to trim this where I'd like it, and I'm going to take off just a little bit, and then I'm going to create a banner end here with my paper snips like so. Once I have that done, I can decide where I want it, and my little snowman is going to go here. Now I can take this all the way over to the edge like so, and I can adhere this and then trim after the fact, which is what I'm going to do. And as you can see, that finger on my, or the adhesive on my fingers is there on the back, and I'm simply going to slide that approximately where I'd like it, and I'm going to place it so that the center of my banner is on the top edge. There we go. I can take my paper snips here now and just trim it right against the edge of that cardstock. Flip over my snowman and add some dimensionals. Now this is a fairly large panel, so I'm going to add some in the center. If you're mailing these for holiday cards, you might want to skip the center one so it has a little more flex. I'm going to add that right here on the left, like so. And I've got this cute little card, but of course we need a little shimmer and shine. So I'm going to bring in the traditional sparkling sequins from our holiday catalog. These happen to be flat, and they're just full of shine with their shimmer, and I'm going to pick up the gold, pop it right here next to my sentiment, and then I'm going to take a couple more and add them, let's see, to the around the trees. One here, and I think I'll take a larger one here and pop it down here in the top left-hand corner, and a small one I'm going to pop down in this corner. That gives me 4. I need one more for an odd number, and I'm going to pick up another large one and place it to the left of this tree right there. So there you go, a little bit of shimmer and shine that moves your eye around the card. I hope you've enjoyed this project using the Festive Friends stamp set. This stamp set is part of our online exclusive collection and can be found in my online store. And of course, if you'd like any of these products, feel free to stop by my online store. You can get there from my blog, Stamp with Jini. Thanks for joining me.